guys, welcome back to another video. So it's only a few days ago now that I realised, I found out that Marcus Sedgwick, one of my favourite, my favourite British author, passed away back in November last year. And of course the only way I could have known about it was to go onto the internet, to go onto Google, and then found out that way, like his birthday and then his death date. This came about when I was reading Our Hedious Progeny, and the fact that it reminded me of Frankenstein. So immediately, obviously, I went to search for Marcus Sedgwick because he hasn't written anything in a while. Of course, that it reminded me of The Monsters We Deserve. So that is a book that touches on Frankenstein, that explores it and a person's mental health. I was going to do a video on this anyway because this is my second largest collection of books by an author. The only other one is Anne Rice, so his death just motivated me to do a video on this. So this is a little tribute to Marcus, to show you my collection of books by him, which I started way back with Book of Dead Days when I was 12, back in school, and it was a book club, not book club, what do you call it, like a library, World Book Day, that's it. And then they had that book showing. You can buy any books that you want at the library, and had a case of books that you can buy, and the Book of Dead Days just immediately attracted me because obviously of the title. And yeah, that was the first book I got, so I'm just going to show you the collection and elaborate a little bit more about each, with, as you probably already see, all my Marcus Sedgwick books up to here. So first I'm going to start with the Book of Dead Days. This was the first book that I bought. I think I bought this at the World Book Day at my school, my secondary school, when I was like 12. I can't remember how much it was, but you know, this is the first book that attracted me to the whole world of Marcus Sedgwick. So this is about between Christmas and the New Year, and with his stories, they're a mixture of darkness as well as catering for children. This is just a fantastic book, and it just transports me way back then, and yeah, it's just really good. I haven't read it for a few years, so I do remember parts of it, but not really. I remember Valerian, I think. I used to call him Valerian. And then you have Boy, just called Boy, which is he's just an orphan, and then he befriends a girl, a human girl. I'm not saying Boy wasn't human, he was an orphan, he's just a ordinary girl. And yeah, Valerian is the bad guy. So yeah, it's just really good. So that's that. Really nice sleeve as well. Little bookmark there, so it's very gothic. And then the sequel, the only sequel, that is sequel of the Book of Dead Days, and the only sequel he did was I got from the library, which is Dark Light Down. It was withdrawn, so I withdrew it from the library. Very good sequel, still got the same old, style with the headings and the little ornate broke style there, which I like. It's the first ever sequel that he's done, and the only sequel he's done. Which is like a sequel where Boy is on his own, Valerian is killed, and he's in a cell down there, and with his little girlfriend, and there's this little phantom that they have to destroy, and then there's this little adventure there. Again, I haven't read this one in a while. Next is the recent one that reminded me of Our Hedious Progeny, and that is The Monsters We Deserve. This is one of his most recent ones. Let's see what it was, 2018, so nice. I ordered this, I think I pre-ordered it, hence why it's a hardback. This explores Frankenstein, where this young man goes in a retreat on his own, and again his whole mental illness with a mixture with The Shining, where in his mind he goes a bit crazy, and then at the same time he explores the whole deal with Frankenstein and do they exist, and they do exist in the real world as well as in the mind, as in the spiritual world, so it goes into there. It's got really nice illustrations as well. It's just, you know, a bit of darkness in there, which I appreciate. So, you know, some just blank pages like that. And yeah, there's he. Next is My Sword Hand is Singing. Got this at the charity shop. Still haven't read yet. This was when I was just wanted to collect all the other books that he wrote. This is kind of like a vampire story set in Russia, I think, or maybe I'm just mixing up with Blood Red Snow White, which I'll show in a minute. Nice hardback as well. Nice script as well. I prefer this style of covers that he's done. You can see that it's a bit of texturization there with the trees. And again, I like this little pictorial headings there. So that's that one, My Sword Hand is Singing. Next is a similar style with the hardback and the nice cover, that is The Foreshadowing. Let's see, this is about the war, about two kids in a war. And so the girl can see into the future and what the war holds. Again, I haven't really read it, but, you know, again, I was in the collector's spirit to collect all these things. Marcus Sedgwick books. Obviously, this was before I knew about his death. Next is one of my favourites, and that is Midwinter Blood, another hardback, which I bought at Waterstones when it was new, when it first came out, and this is about going back in time, a bit vampiric. Look. And yeah, it goes into time travel, it's contemporary as well, delves a bit into darkness. What would you sacrifice for someone you've loved forever? Obviously that's a tagline that enticed me. Next are two hardbacks, children's books that he did, and that is Flood and Fang, and Diamonds and Doom is the first one, this is the second one. Nice, I wasn't really wanting his children's books, but I know that it reminds me of a bit of Neil Gaiman's illustration, and maybe not Holly Black, but I can't remember who did the illustrations for Graveyard Book. A bit like this one, illustrations a bit like this, Chris Weidel. It's about this little gothic girl and a little adventures, little illustrations in there, which is nice, it's cool. And again, I just for the sake of it, really wanted the softback or the plain version, which is just the you know, not the hardback version. So yeah, but still got the pictures in it. So next is Blood Red Snow White, a book that I got from Amazon. A very, very pretty front cover. Again, the style which I like. Well, a part of where it has his signature there. Set in Russia, as you can see. Deep in the snowy forest. The bear wakes up in St. Petersburg, and Englishman plays dangerous game. Are the ransom, a journalist and writer, fell in love with a Russian woman. Plays a dangerous game, apparently. So, brand new, haven't read it. But yes, definitely. I can't really read any of his stuff at the moment because obviously still a bit weaning from it, and it's like he was young, 54 it was, and I mean, never in my wildest dreams would I thought that he would die young. Especially since he wasn't that old anyway when he writing his first novel, Witch Hill, I think it was. Next is a book that I do really get on with, Saint Death, which is the first line of books that he did that didn't involve any fictionalized characters, that just involved real life things, real life politics, like gangs and drugs. This is set in Mexico with a Mexican skull. I don't like these skulls because I just find them a bit too tacky. I like the original skulls that you find. Yeah, I didn't get on with it. I did finish it, but yeah, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Next is Ghosts of Heaven, which I got at the same time as when it was World Book Day in 2013, Killing the Dead, which kind of is like the teaser to the Ghosts of Heaven. I really enjoyed this one. This obviously goes back in time again and explores how people die. Different stories into one. You can read them in any order you want. And yeah, it's a very different take of writing a story. At the same time as this, I read The Invisible Girl, I think it was called, about a blind girl on her adventures. This was inspired by his real life journey when he went out and he saw this blind girl, and that literally just inspired his writing. Next is my favourite, and that's White Crow. I think this is like everyone's favourite, but this is mine. I've read this so many times. My favourite character is Ferelith. She's the loner, the weird one, really, and a bit like Wednesday Addams, but a bit more creepier, maybe. Yeah, just every time I smell it, it just reminds me of when I first read it and just has that unique smell. Yes, definitely my favourite. Next is, I think this is the last one. This is Revolver. This is the one I got from the charity shop. It's only a small read. It's one of his first novels, short stories. Set in the Arctic Circle, 1910. Again, another one I haven't read, but Sir Sig Anderson is alone, except for the corpse of his father, frozen to death that morning when he fell through ice. The cabin is silent until there's a knock on the door. He's a stranger. As his extraordinary story of gold dust and gold lust unwinds, Sig's thoughts turn more and more to his father's prized possession, a Colt revolver hidden in the storeroom. A revolver just waiting to be used. So, yeah, it's for kids, you know, but a little dark tone to it. So yes, I think this is my last one. This one I have is Voyages in the Underworld of Orpheus Black, and he did this one with Julian Sedgwick, his brother. So it's like a visual novel about the war again, inspired by them as kids going on an adventure. I've partly read it. So yeah, that is that one, and that's all the books I have. The book that I was trying to think of, it was She Is Not Invisible. Yeah, I got that library, and so I didn't buy it, but again, probably will do now. And of course, the others that I'm missing, like Witch Hill, and The Kiss of Death. I've also read Dark Satanic Mills. Well, I had it and it was signed by him, but I lent it to someone, but I never received it, so I'm guessing they maybe have sold it on. I remember getting it. I went to London one day in Forbidden Planet, and it was on the Saturday, and then Sunday, Marcus was doing a signing on the Sunday. So, and I, of course, wouldn't be able to make it because I literally went on the Saturday. So, I think I sent... I wanted it signed, so I had the book, the visual novel, graphic novel, I had a lot of copies for him to sign, so for people who can't make it, they can have it signed and sent it back to them. So that's what I did, and I did get it back. Shadowing I got from a bookshop, a second-hand bookshop, and it was signed. And what it is, as soon as I saw it, and I thought that couldn't be a signature, it doesn't really look like Marcus. But then the other day I searched it up and searched about these different signatures on Google Images, and yeah, it is apparently, so at least I got that for my collection now. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, he's done other graphic novels as well, and he's also done 2 that is little non-fiction books about mental health and about the invisible illness they had that maybe doctors didn't really believe they had. The one that I want is A Love Like Blood, which I've wanted for a while. Of course, the title is attractive enough for me to want it. He's done others, Vampires and Vaults and Lunatics and Luck for Kids, a lot of other kids' books. Yeah, he still has done quite a few books, so yeah, I will still be wanting a few of the books I said. But yeah, that is my collection. I just felt like I was going to do this video anyway, but I felt like I wanted to do my little tribute for him. Yeah, so yeah, that's my collection. Hope you enjoyed, and whether you've read any of his books, and whether you were a fan of him like I was. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hopefully see you in another video.